Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdata min lisani yafqahu qawli. In 1991, there was a young man who took the world by storm. He emerged the best player of the 1991 Under-17 tournament in Italy. Very soon, I'll be introducing you to a very important guest who will be taking us through Ghana's journey at the African Cup of Nations to kick off next month in Ivory Coast. He, from then, appeared in 3 different AFCONs for Ghana. One in 1992, in 1994, and in 1996. I'll introduce to you my guest and we'll get talking, but we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I will let you know who I'm speaking to. My guest today is Nii Odartey Lamptey, a player who took the world by storm, a player who got all the top football officials in the world to give positive predictions about Ghana at the 1991 U17 World Cup in Italy. Nii, salamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
You know, a lot of people don't know that you speak Hausa.
I think it's my first language.
Wow, Yawring.
Lafiya lau.
Ya harkoki.
Alhamdulillah.
How come you speak Hausa fluently like that?
Well, I grew up in Kumasi, Ababu number 1, number 2, precisely.
You don't mean it?
Oh, yeah. That's where I grew up.
Wow.
I came to Accra, let's say, after my call-up with the junior national team. When I went outside, I came back. And I decided to come and settle in Accra. But since my childhood, Kumasi.
This is incredible. So it explains why you are extremely fluent with the Hausa language.
Yes, I remember well. I won't bring my pains back. But even in court, when they were going to cross-examine me, they asked me the language I want to speak, and I choose Hausa.
Anyway, that is just, you know, the other side of it. Now, you took the world by storm in 1991 as the best player in the world. I want us to have a quick recount of that experience when you found yourself on the stage with the FIFA president behind you and all the other big men giving you that particular award as the best player in the world. How was it like?
Thank you very much. I think it was a dream come true. I mean, as a child, I know I went through pain just to play football. Punishment and denying food, and I know not to go to school, education was a problem, just to play football because I have passion for it. And at the end of the day, here am I, being, you know, named youth best player. I mean, there's nothing sweet more than that. It was a dream come true. I forgot all the punishment that I went through.
No, I think if you take a closer look, from that time, we've had players who have tried to follow your footsteps. We've seen Derek Boateng, we've seen Dominic Edia, you know, and a couple of other players who at that stage have been given such huge rewards. But unfortunately, in the case of Dominic, after he was, you know, given that particular reward at the under-17 level, we did not see him flourish that much. What, in your own estimation and from your experience, could you see or could you say was the problem?
Well, sometimes it's decision making. Sometimes if you are not guided by good people to make a good decision at that young age, you end up destroying your career. Well, not destroying it, but maybe how it will go. You won't say it like that. I was a bit lucky. Had some people like Alhaji Njeme, you so rest in peace. And I was a bit fortunate also. During the World Cup, the scout of Anderlecht were there.
Okay.
To pinpoint me that I'm the one that we were looking for. So immediately after the tournament, they came for me. So it was good for me to have beginning of my career in a country like Belgium, in a club like Anderlecht. They gave me everything to be successful in life. So sometimes, as I said, it's a decision making. If you are not able to start in a club that they have patience for you, they can groom you, it will be a problem for you.
So from 1991, at that time you were around 15, 16?
Yeah, 15, yeah.
Yes. Then right in 1992, you were called to the senior national team. Yeah. I don't really know the age at which Abedi was called, at which Opokunti was called, but I know they were also below 18. But you become one of the youngest players to have been invited to the senior national team. Was it not a big load for you?
It was, but then as I said, I mean, for me, football was my everything. At that time, as I said, I was too young to even know the money I was earning. The signing on fee, I did not know anything about that. This is what I wanted to do because I know I suffer for it. So for me, having my first call-up, even after 1991, and then Barcelona 1992, when we won, we were the first Africans to win the bronze medal in the Olympics game.
Yeah.
So when I had my first call-up in the senior national team, I was also lucky by then. I had a good players to guide me. People like Abedi Pele, Tony Eboa, Prince Paul, Frimpong Mansu, Kwesi Appiah, Opokunti and Co. They were all in the national team.
Okay.
So I fit in, very well. So it gave me also a good start in the senior national team as well.
We will come to your first AFCON experience in 1992, but then when you joined the senior national team, you've already mentioned the name of all the big players who were there at that time. How did they make the environment so comfortable for you?
Very comfortable because, as I said, I was, player of the year or youth best player, and I was just starting a career, and I'm sure everybody would love me in his team. So these guys were very, very happy to have me on their side. I quite remember people like Frimpong Mansu, the way they bully me, Kwesi Appiah in camp, and other. My roommate was Tony Eboa.
Kwesi Appiah that quiet like that?
The way they can bully you, see them. And Frimpong Mansu, no. And may so rest in peace, Salih for answer. So okay. The environment was very good for me to fit in. So as I said, my first also year, or let's say AFCON with the Black Star was excellent. I played all the 6 matches, and it's unfortunate we could not bring the trophy home due to the absence. This is how I feel, the absence of Abedi Pele in that final. Now,
so far as you've brought in the AFCON, let's zoom it in straight. Before we even come to recount some of the experiences at the AFCON, behind the scenes in the Black Stars camp, what would you say is your biggest experience? Was it the bullying, or was it something done in the dressing room that made you happy? Was it?
The unity. The unity at that time, unity was okay for us. It started with me with the under 17. I'm sure I had the bond with these boys. I quite remember I was not the captain, but due to I was professional, these boys voted me as the captain when we won the trophy in 1991 in Italy, and the unity was there. So I used the same feeling to come to the senior national team. And don't forget, when I came to the the senior national team as well, I have 2 or 3 of my colleagues, I think Gago and Isaac Asari, were with me. I think we were even more, and then the finalists 2 were dropped. That was Edia and somebody like this. So we were united. So unity in camp was excellent. The coach also took me as, his son, advised me, gave me that confidence. Even a day before the match, he would call me in his room, tell him that he's giving me the free road to do whatever I have to do on the pitch. So I'm sure that gingers me, not to be scared that, yes, I'm in the senior national team, and I was able to do well.
Was the presence of Abedi Pele precisely not intimidating? Because this was a big player, the likes of Opokunti. He had won the African Cup, Club Cup with Asante Kotoko, big player in the making, Kwesi Appiah, Frimpong Mansu. What, their presence not intimidating you?
No, not intimidating me as such, but giving me the courage to be like them.
Okay.
That was the feeling that I was having. I saw Pele when he was in Marseille. I watched Opokunti when I was a ball boy. You know,
okay.
and Tony Ebuan when he was playing for Cornerstones and then transferred to Okowe United. I watched all of them when I was a young chap. So it was a privilege for me to come and play with them. So I was just doing everything to maybe be in their shoes in future.
Then here you are in 1992. Ghana is going to the African Cup of Nations in Senegal, and a certain 17-year-old or 16-year-old Odartey Lamptey has been invited to join the Black Stars to the tournament. Before you went to the tournament, I want you to tell us some of the things that you did in terms of camping preparations. How do you prepare yourself as a player, even before we come to the team preparation?
Well, individually, there are so many things that you have to do. I think the most important one is sacrifice. If you say sacrifice, it comes with so many things. Diet, what to eat, outgoing, to maintain yourself, to keep yourself fit before the tournament. And then when you're able to do that, when you come into the team as well, I think it's very important. Training, and then friendly matches that you play, you make sure you avoid injuries and all that. I quite remember when we were in Portugal for pre-season before Senegal, and it was excellent. I mean, all the matches that we play, I think we won most of the matches, and the preparation was very good. So yes, it's about discipline. Discipline. I mean, as a player, that's, I think, a key to be successful. You should be able to make sure you sacrifice, and if you say sacrifice, it's discipline. There are so many things you have to avoid eating, going out, and I was able to do that. So up to today, I eat once a day. I don't go out, I don't drink, and it has stayed with me.
Now let's come to the tournament itself. Ghana played very well at the tournament. Unfortunately, we lost through the lottery of penalty kicks in the finals. In the build-up, group stage to the quarterfinals, to the semi-finals, to the finals, tell us your biggest experience, something that you would never forget in 1992.
It's like, let's say the quarterfinals. I'm sure when we're going to play Nigeria, and don't forget that Stephen Keshi was like a godfather to me.
Oh, really?
Yes, he took me. I mean, yeah, maybe the story was a bit low, but you know, he took me to Belgium because at that time he was playing for Anderlecht.
Okay.
So Anderlecht assigned him to come for me. So he did not come to Ghana. He sent a local manager. Then local manager came, and then he took me to Nigeria. So I waited for Keshi, and Keshi came, and then he took me to Nigeria with Nigerian passport with Stephen Keshi Jr.
Oh, okay.
So we were in the same team when we were playing the AFCON. So he came to me during our match. We met, and he said, "Listen," he called me, "Son, don't come and use your $1,000 to come and spoil my $5,000. You can imagine.
Yeah.
I was so scared, but then, well, at the end of the day, of course, the passion that I have for my country, we have to finish them, and we beat them 2-1. So he was crying, he was hurt, but then, well, this is football for you. I will never forget that. So that thing that he told me.
So after the game, what was the conversation between you and Keshi?
Well, I think we hugged each other. He said congratulations, and then later we met at the hotel, and you can see that he was hurt because we beat them, and then they were going home, you know, and he was very hurt. But then, well, as I said, this is football for you. So he arrived in Belgium before I got there when we lost the final, and then when I got there, I mean, the team welcomed me very well, and then they were laughing at him.
So, after the game with Nigeria, a biggest rival that Ghana has beaten, and we were to play Cote d'Ivoire in the finals, but Abedi was red-carded in the game against Nigeria.
Yep.
So, it means Abedi was not coming to play in the finals. Yep. From that Nigerian game, even though you won, what was the mentality of the entire team for the final game because Abedi was out of the team?
Well, I stand to be corrected. I don't know if it was Nigeria we played semi or other country, but I quite remember when Abedi was getting the yellow card. I ran straight to him and the referee because I know he speaks French, and I was in Belgium, so I understand what he said.
Yes.
You know, so I begged the referee not to give him the card. I did that, but then I think the word that he used Maybe the referee was a bit frustrated, and then he gave him the second yellow. And I knew that the final is going to be, a war for us. Because, come on, this is a player that has achieved anything. When he's on the pitch, it's about 3 or 4 players who follow him. Then you take advantage, and we are missing such a player in the team. And I think that cost us. We should have won that trophy.
So if we are to even look at the individual player quality, Abedi was a playmaker, very key to the team. Odartey Lamptey is a playmaker, very key to the team, but very young. Now there is no Abedi. Did you see yourself in the finals that I am going to be the next Abedi? Since there is no Abedi, I have to play, like him?
Yes, I quite remember. Abedi came to me, and this is what he told me. I said, Charlie, you have to play for us. Not him, so I think Opokunti and the other senior players, because they know I had the energy to do that. But as I said, yeah, we did everything that day. We did everything to win that trophy until, as I said, the penalty that we lost, I think, in 11-12, and we were out. But then, yes, most of them came to me to give me that energy. That, yes, in the absence of Maestro, I could have done something, which, yes, I did everything, but well, what God has written.
So if you are to sum Ghana's experience at the African Cup of Nations in 1992, you would say that the absence of Abedi Pele is the reason we couldn't.
For me, I'm sure everybody may have his reason, but for me personally, this is what I thought, that with the absence of Abedi, if Abedi have been on that pitch, I'm sure we should have won that trophy. Without a doubt. Well,
we will come back and then continue with 1994 and then 1996 in South Africa. But before then, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. Well, welcome back. If you are enjoying the conversation, this is Sienu TV. You can also catch us up on sienutvsports.com. On Facebook, we are Sienu TV, and on all the social media handles, when you check Sienu TV, you will see us. If you like my outfit, say a very big thank you to Master Mauli. Master Mauli Collections is in Accra, close to Nima Runabout. I can give you his number at the end of the show, so that if you want to get something as nice as I am wearing, just speak to Master Mauli and it will be done for you. 0244 60 4020, 0244 60 4020. That's Master Mauli's number, so you can call him anytime, anywhere you are, and you get the best. I'm sure that at the end of this interview, I have to humbly get a Master Mauli outfit for the legend Nii Odartey Lamptey. Now let's come to 1992, with 1994 rather. After that sad experience in Senegal, in 1994, I think it was in Tunisia, right? In Tunisia in 1994. What was the mentality of the entire team going into the tournament? How was preparations, training camp? Where did you do it? How was the team bonding ahead of the tournament?
Well, Tunisia was a bit different from Portugal. After I had my first experience in 1992 in Senegal, but Tunisia was a bit different because most of us have become professional. Myself, Abedi Pele, Tony Yeboah, and all that, Prince Polly. I think it's 1 or 2 defenders that were not professional. So the team did not have very good preparation at that time. So, well, it also really affected us when we went to Tunisia. The team didn't do, I think, the group stage, we were knocked out of the competition. And so it was a bad Cup of Nations for 1994 for my experience.
So in 1994, you think that because Ghana did not get very good preparations for the tournament is the reason why Ghana couldn't make it?
I think so, for sure. Because as I said, even a week, 2 or 3 or a month before, yes, let's say 3 weeks before the competition, the team was not assembled. As I said, due to maybe we were all professional playing the league, and all that was in England at that time, and others were other places. So being together like a team playing a friendly match, like as I said in Portugal before Senegal 1992, was totally different, and I'm sure that caused us.
Now, we'll come to 1996, but before we do 1996, after the 1994 experience, did you ever think that I have my last AFCON to play in 1996, so when I go, it is done, or you were still thinking that we'll go to 1996, 1998, in Burkina Faso I have to be there, and in Ghana I also have to be there?
Well, to be honest with you, I decided to call it off. I decided to, after 1996, I decided not to play. But after Tunisia 1994, I did not know that thing was coming. Well, but then sometimes football, there are certain things happen that it doesn't favor you, and you think you call it off. But, well, may their soul rest in peace. Osam Dodo recall me back, and Joseph I took a few also call me back. But unfortunately, I couldn't make it come back against into the senior national team. But certain things happen in South Africa, which I think now is past and gone. We've matured. I don't need to bring it out. And I was very hurt, and that's why I decided to call it off.
Oh, okay. So what really was it that was able to push Odartey Lamptey from the national team and kill his interest?
As I said, I'm sure I'm mature now. At that time, I was young. I was a bit naive.
Maybe if it was today, you wouldn't take that decision.
Yeah, if it's maybe yes, maybe I would have think twice before taking that decision. But I think, as I said, I was hurt because, well, I think I was a professional, leaving my club to come to represent my country, and then one or two person decision will keep me out of the team. It was a bit hurt and painful. So, well, and you know, coming to play for your national team, if you are not careful, you lose your job.
Yeah.
You end up going back, somebody have taken your position. So you sacrifice all that to come and do that. And then you can hear a comment that because of ABCD, that's why you are not playing and all that. It's a bit painful. But as I said, if it's today, maybe I would have think twice before, you know, making that decision.
Now, you had the experience of playing in 3 African Cup of Nations. Obviously, Senegal was your best because we got to the finals of the tournament and you loved the atmosphere in camp. Since that time, the last time Ghana won the African Cup of Nations has been in 1982. That was 10 years before you went to your first African Cup of Nations. Now it's been over 40 years that Ghana won the AFCON. The last time Ghana went, we exited at the group stage. The team camped in Qatar ahead of the AFCON in Cameroon, something that invited a lot of criticisms for the team, that the tournament is being played in Africa and you go all the way to Asia to camp. Now, you mentioned going to Portugal to camp ahead of the 1992, which means that camping outside is sometimes very beneficial to the team. You as a player, ahead of the AFCON next month, which is about less than 30 days from now, do you have any fears? Are you so confident that Ghana is going to be magical or mercurial at the tournament?
Yes, I think so. For what I've seen, I followed the team quite a bit. I mean, during their qualifiers and even the World Cup qualifiers. I think the coach have some good young materials with a couple of experience that I think, yes, if you're able to go to camp earlier, I'm sure. That's why I say come back to the same thing. Now they are playing in their clubs. As we said, we have maybe less than 30 days, then AFCON will start. We are not in camp yet. So sometimes it's bring a problem. But then if the players know themselves very well because of the qualifiers and all that, and you even have them 2 weeks or in camp, they can gel together. But sometimes it's a big problem. They get to know each other when the competition is going. So if you are not careful and you don't win first, second, and third while they are getting to know each other, then it's what? It's late. But I think for what I've seen so far, we have a very good team with experienced coach. The coach, he knows the team. I mean, he's part of the team that went to
the World Cup
with the team, so he knows the team very well. So I'm sure with the support of the FA and all Ghanaians, I'm sure yes, people are doubting, but I think I strongly believe that will cause surprises in Cameroon.
In your honest opinion, forget about the fact that you are a Ghanaian. We have Morocco coming to the tournament, who were semi-finalists at the World Cup in Qatar. We have Senegal, we have Algeria, we have Nigeria, and we have Cote d'Ivoire, all coming to this particular tournament. What, in your honest opinion, would you say, would be the position of Ghana at the end of the tournament?
Well, in football, you can never say never. I mean, some countries are coming up. We have seen a lot of surprises with the small countries. As I said, yes. Personally, I know, yes, as I said, I'm Ghanaian, but things are not going well as people wanted to be. But then, this will also be a time that, yeah, we can cause a surprise in Africa.
So if you are just connecting, I have been engaging former Ghana international Nii Odartey Lamptey, who is currently the assistant coach of the Ghana U20 side, the Black Satellites. He was the best player in the world in 1991 at the 1991 U17 tournament in Italy. He's one of the few players in Ghana who have been to several African Cup of Nations. Starting from 1992, he appeared again in 1994 and then in 1996. Now, before we wrap up our conversation, there is an aspect which brings a lot of memories that I would want us to talk about, and that is when you were in the camp of the national team, who was your roommate?
As I said, Senegal 92 was Tony Yeboah for sure.
Okay.
Senegal 92 was Tony Yeboah, and then I think Tunisia 94 was Prince Polly. And South Africa 96 was Tony Yeboah again.
Okay. So who in the national camp did you share a lot with? You shared a lot in common that you felt so comfortable when you are with all the time?
I mean, with Tony, and I mean, as you know me, I'm a very reserved. I don't talk much. I'm always in my room. But I think Tony Yeboah, because of we all grew up in Kumasi, so that Kumasi thing was yes with us. So Tony Yeboah, Prince Polly, CM Frimpong Manso, and Ampia.
Okay.
So it's like that thing was there. So let's say Tony Yeboah and Prince Polly for.
So who always made the camp lively in terms of jokes and other things?
We have many. I mean, Salif Wansa was one, and then there's Richard Now.
Okay.
Also,
Now,
I think Now also was there. Yeah, and a couple of them. So camp is, I mean, that's what I miss in football. Camping, meeting each other, cracking jokes and all that. I mean, after retirement or so, after football, that's what I really missed.
Wow, wow. But who was the commander? Always serious, always like, this guy is a military person, in camp?
Oh, well, there are a couple of them. Let's say Ama Senegal was one.
Senegal. He will always be.
Yeah, Ama Senegal was one. And I think Stanley Abradi. And then don't forget Safu Jimfitu.
Oh, okay. Black Prophet.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, just like you heard it yourself from the legend, he misses it a lot whenever he's not in camp. It's been his life throughout. What would you have done if you had not played football?
To be honest with you, that's a million, I don't know, million question to answer. Very difficult. I did not have good education. I was not going to school. Going to school was just to go and play when there's football.
Yeah.
I was not learning. I was not learning any trade. So, to be honest with you, it will be a very, very difficult answer because I did not know what I would do with that football. That's why I gave everything out to make it in football.
Did you like dancing?
No, I don't know how to dance. I'm a shy guy. I don't know how to dance. As I said, I don't go out. I don't drink. I'm indoor type. I can stay indoor for about a week. I don't go out. So I'm a shy type. So, to be honest with you, without football, and I thank God, God has given me all the pains and all the sacrifices that I had as a child. I know the punishment, the bully, My father and my mother, may they are so rest in peace. I know they wanted me to go to education, but this is what I wanted to do. I was doing it not knowing even that I'll become famous one day.
Yeah.
It's just because of the passion. I want to play football on the street and all that. And here I am today, being a youth best player, winning all this medal, I've been all over the world because of football, and I thank God for what he has done for me.
Before we draw the curtain on our conversation, let's draw the relationship between Ghana at the World Cup in 2022, Ghana at the African Cup in 2022, Ghana at the African Cup in 2021 in Cameroon, and then Ghana today from the qualifiers that Coach Chris Hughton has played. In 2021, we have Milovan Rajevac. In 2022, at the World Cup, we have Otuado, and now we have Chris Hughton. If you look at the performance of the team from 2021 till today, what will be your honest description of the team?
Well, as I said, for me, I would say it's at the same place. Nothing has changed much. That's why I want us to give Chris, the benefit of the doubt that yes, with these few months to AFCON, things can change. And I mean, without a doubt, if you see the 20-man squad or 22-man squad that he's been calling, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And that's what we have. Yeah. And I'm sure with support, these boys should be able to do well. Because, I mean, look, who can tell me that Kudos is not a good material? Partey, Jordan. I mean, they are there. So I'm sure with a good support and good preparation, we'll call a surprise, because I'm also one of the key favorites to pray for this team to succeed in
no, but from the team's qualifiers for the African Cup of Nations, we played Angola in Kumasi. Yep. We had a late-minute goal. We went to Angola, we drew. We played against Madagascar. That was the first game of Otuado played before he left. We beat them in Côte d'Ivoire, in Cape Coast by 3-0. But from then when Chris Hughton took over, we played Angola. We went to Madagascar. We drew. We played Central African Republic here. We won 2-1. And so the results has not been that flamboyant and flourishing for the team, and a lot of Ghanaians are speaking about how the team has been playing. Do you see the same thing, or you see differently?
No, I see the same thing. I feel for if you're a football fan, football fans, the way they see it is a bit different from our coaches and players.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel their pain. But then if you are talking on a coaching aspect or a technical view of a footballer, you know that yes, this team is a solid team. Maybe there's one or two things that is worrying it, which I think, as I said, with experienced coach like Chris, I'm sure he should be able to see it now. And if you are able to start well, maybe start this competition very well, maybe have a first win in our first match, I'm sure we'll cause surprise in Côte d'Ivoire.
Thank you very much for your time, Nii Odartey Lamptey. This name has been ringing a lot of bells, especially where I grew up from in Bekwai. Personally, I was a fan of Frimpong Mansong. I was in 1992.
I'm telling you, he's the most silent-looking guy.
Oh, really?
He will be kicking you, you will never know. But people will be blaming Ama Senegal and Ampia. But Frimpong,
It was wicked.
Thank
you very much, Nii. Thank you very much for your time. So that is it for today. We spoke to a very important personality who is a coach now in Ghana football. He's seen it all when it comes to playing for the national team, from the U17 side up to the senior national team, the Black Stars. He's seen it all. Once upon a time, the best player in the world at under 17 level. It was Nii Odartey Lamptey. Stay tuned and stay connected with us as we bring you more of such interviews on Sienu TV.